you've said that Aamir will definitely survive. He's a very savvy, very smart, but not a bad actor either.
I had no tips with him. We just didn't enjoy working together. People like Arshad, people like Irfan, people like Baman, who I consider to be absolutely marvelous actors.
Wouldn't be a problem lusting after Madhuri Dixit at all.
No, absolutely no problem.
In fact, I told her this statement and she was laughing at it. I believe you have...
Yeah, no, I love her.
You also said that you asked this question about 100 years of Indian cinema and who the actors in the recent crop who may be remembered for a later point of time. And you've said that Aamir will definitely survive. He's a very savvy, very smart, but not a bad actor either. And you said that you hope you're watching Aamir. It's very rarely that you actually praise an actor, and praising someone, I'm sure that he must have earned it for sure. But you've had your share of tiffs with Aamir as well earlier.
I had no tiffs with him. We just didn't enjoy working together. Sarfarosh. For many reasons which I need not go into now. It's in the past.
हम उसे एक दर्दनाक हादसे की तरह, एक सदमे की तरह याद करते हैं। लेकिन जब भी हम उस सदमे से उभरने की कोशिश करते हैं, तुम और तुम्हारे साथी नया बखेड़ा खड़ा कर देते हैं। पुराने घाव को फिर से हरा कर देते हैं। हाँ। और करते रहेंगे। हमारे घाव बहुत गहरे हैं। वो इतनी आसानी से नहीं भरने वाले।
You've done quite a few productions for him.
I've acted in a couple of his. Because I think that he's a person whose head is screwed on right. He knows what he's doing. He is determined to back the kind of cinema which he feels will last, which will survive.
Right.
And I'm completely with him in that. Which other mainstream star would back a film like People's Life?
Absolutely.
Or Delhi Belly? I just wish he wouldn't insist on acting in every film that he produces. I hope you're listening, Aamir.
But I don't think he acts in quite a few of his productions.
He tries to.
He tries to. In what capacity? While promoting?
No, to act in them.
Achha, he wants.
Yeah, he's a very good producer. He's a very intelligent man. He's got knows all his onions. He is a marketing genius. If not for him, I don't think People's Life would have been seen.
Absolutely.
If not for him, Delhi Belly would have probably not been seen. And I think Delhi Belly is one of the funniest films ever made in India. If not for Kiran, Ship of Theseus would not have been seen. Ship of Theseus
wouldn't have, right.
Yeah, so I doff my hat to them.
Right.
They are putting their money where their mouth is, and no other actor in Bombay is doing that.
Right. In fact, you're talking about People's Life, that it wouldn't have seen the light of the day, but the director was not really happy because she felt that that Aamir really overshadowed that. Do you sometimes feel that such statements coming after the release of a movie, maybe she should have spoken before that?
Yeah, she should have spoken before if she had a problem. I don't understand what their problem is though.
Right.
And I'm not really privy to that whole situation.
Now we are having this movie called Phata Poster Nikla Hero, which is coming out, and that's your famous line from Hero Hiralal. Phata Poster Nikla Hero. Do you feel flattered that a movie's name is?
It's not such a great line.
It's not a great line
in the first place. I hope Santoshi has a good reason for using it as his title.
So you've also said in that particular interview that a need to act arises out of dissatisfaction that you experienced during your childhood or something with that effect.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. I used to believe that is the only driving reason, but over the years I have met other actors.
Right.
People like Arshad, people like Irfan, people like Baman, who I consider to be absolutely marvelous actors, who have not had that kind of childhood, who have not felt lonely and miserable as children. So I'm revising that opinion. But basically I will not change the opinion that we all become actors because we want to be looked at. Then later on, when people start looking at us, we say, oh, I don't want anybody to look at me. That's a paradox.
Right. So you've also said in that interview something about Riyaz, that an actor should exactly be doing. Could you elaborate what you mean by how can an actor do a riyaz? By doing theatre?
Riyaz, I mean, not necessarily. Though theatre is a very good riyaz. But there are other things that actors can do, like looking after their bodies, like looking after their health, like looking after their voices, like looking after their sanity, and somehow warding off the ailments that hit you when you cross 70.
Right.
And I'm not very far from there, so I am
7 years to
extra
go.
careful.
7 or 8 years.
7 years will go by like that. 64 years have gone by like that.
Right.
So that's what actors should do, and they don't. Person like Zohra Sehgal,
Yeah,
is
great.
100 years old,
Absolutely.
and still every morning gets up and goes to her terrace and practices, does her voice exercises, and learns a new poem every 2 weeks, and recites it just for the joy of doing it.
Right.
So that kind of joy actors never find in their work.
Right.
The way a dancer or a musician or an instrumentalist can.
Right.
A person who plays an instrument can just sit and play his instrument for hours.
Right.
It gives him joy and it's exercise.
I believe you play tennis quite regularly. That's how you keep fit? You do weights
Yeah,
as
that's
well?
one of the things. I don't do weights unless it's required for a role or something. And I don't like doing weights. It's very painful. Vanity is the only reason anybody ever does it. But more important than being muscle bound is to stay strong and flexible, I feel.
So in one of my interviews, you had said that about Dedh Ishqiya, it had not started then. That it wouldn't be a problem lusting after Madhuri Dixit at all.
No, absolutely no problem.
In fact, I told her this statement and she was laughing at it. I believe you have.
Yeah,
it's been
I love her. I think it's one of the few times in my life that I have played a character in love. Ishqiya was one of the first. And being in love with Vidya Balan was also no problem. And with Madhuri, it's absolutely no problem. I've been a fan of Madhuri, I have to admit, and she knows that. I've told her so. And she's absolutely wonderful. She's really wonderful. So,
and I believe you have.
it's good that I didn't get a part where I was in love earlier. I didn't have any Madhuri Dixit around.
Great. But I believe you also have some intimate scenes with her in the movie as well.
Well, no. They are emotionally intimate.
Right.
There's nothing physically intimate that happens, because in the relationship, nothing of that sort happens.
Right.
But that's not a criterion of any kind. If the film requires that scenes of that kind, then they should be there, and if the film doesn't, then they shouldn't. Quite simply.
Absolutely. I think it's based in Lucknow. You've done like a Umrah Jan, and you've done Junoon, and even Ghalib was Delhi, but the culture was symptomatic. You enjoy that experience of the entire culture, of Awadhi culture, and the entire that paradigm?
At times, I suspect if the Awadhi culture thing is a myth or what.
Right.
I'm more impressed with the place like Hyderabad. I feel that if one really wants to see what Muslim culture is all about, Hyderabad is the place, rather than Lucknow. There's much more refinement, there's much more sophistication, there's much more subtlety in the Hyderabadi Muslims. Though both are equally historically significant places and both are equally beautiful.
Right.
The Hyderabadis are a little more polite though.
You feel that place?
Oh yeah, they are extremely polite.
Food is where the food is.
The
better.
food is equally fantastic in both places.
Both
I prefer the Hyderabadi cuisine because I'm a UP wala, so the Lucknow food is something I've been eating since I was a child. Hyderabadi food I discovered later, and it was a revelation.
Right. Thank you very much. I love you talking to you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay, right.